bevo.com.
John, there's been a lot of studies recently about sort of CEOs and what do great ones do. In your opinion, what is the difference between a world-class CEO and one that's just destined for mediocrity?
Well, the world-class CEO is, I think, coincides with something I was told at the very beginning of my career, which is world-class, and I can always tell this when I meet someone new who's a brand new CEO, I always know whether they're going to succeed or fail based on one thing, and it's just that. And it's basically whether they're good at the art of listening. And it's all about the art of listening. And it's very interesting. The first 6 months, the new CEO is doing this sort of honeymoon tour. The ones that sort of walk in with great bravado, sort of have their style, they've gotten there, they know what they're doing. You could tell they're listening politely, but they're not really listening. 8, 9 out of 10 times, those guys fall on their face, and they lose, and they fail. The ones that succeed are the ones that go in there with an open mind, a clean sheet of paper, and they're there to listen. They're there to listen to all of their stakeholders, their employees, their predecessors, the old board members, the new board members, the new shareholders, the old shareholders, and they listen. And they make sure that they continue to listen once their honeymoon is over. Listening, it's the old art that if you, as a good CEO, 80 to 90% of what you need to know to do your job well, you'll get if you actually take the time and have the self-confidence, and sometimes it means admitting you're wrong and changing course, if you actually take the time to listen.
Yeah, John, it's interesting you say that because I think a lot of CEOs think that because they're the CEO, they must know the right answer. But as you said, sometimes the answer is with your team. You have to listen to get the team out and also be willing to change if you have the courage.
You know, it's actually the reverse. If you look at military history, some of the great generals in front of the troops would stand up and say, you know, congratulate the troops, the battle, here's what we did right, great battle. But, you know, I've thought about this, and here are 2 or 3 things that I could have done better, I did wrong. And the troops go, whew, that guy is really confident if he can get up there and tell you what he did wrong. Same thing applies to CEOs. Really smart CEOs that stand up and say, well, actually, you know, last year there were 2 or 3 things I wasn't happy about. It not only shows that they're human, because there's been a lot of interesting work in the last couple of years that deal with this sort of notion of human condition and humanity. And CEOs that show they're human and that they're introspective and self-aware about their strengths and their weaknesses, their successes and their failures, they tend to be seen as much better leaders, and they seem to be much more respected, and their troops are much more excited about following them.
bevo.com